What's up? This is the Objective Jerk, and I'm said jerk. I know you're probably like, dude, you got phlegm. Why are you doing a podcast? I get it. But story time. I just had a little incursion with a Philippine Cobra. Pretty big. So I'm going to talk about it. But before I did kind of look up to make sure like there wasn't a snake that tries to look like a cobra or whatever, you know. But yeah, it was a cobra. Got some whiskey. No, it's iced tea. But yeah, so I've been here 5 years. Not quite 5 years, but you know, within a couple weeks, it'll be 5 years. And I haven't, you know, I thought us living up in the country, my wife has properties with, you know, mango trees and stuff and farmland, and we go check out a lot. I kind of thought I would come across snakes more often than I do. I have seen, there was a snake that was ran over down the road. It was pretty large, but it was a little decomposed. Like it was, you know, it had been dead for a few days at least. But I don't think that was a cobra. I think that was just like a rat snake type, you know. And then we were going through the farm, and my wife stopped and talked to somebody, and they had said that they had gotten a cobra out in the farmland, you know, and they showed it. It was kind of small, you know, but so I've always been like, man, a little concerned, not like scared, but you know, but over time it's like nothing really. Although I think this cobra has been hanging around my property for a few years now. And I'm thinking, I mean, I don't want a cobra hanging out, but I'm thinking that's what's kind of, because it's like we'll have some mice, or there was a rat kind of messing around, and I set up a trap and did some stuff, and then they're gone. So I'm wondering if the snake was like taking care of those, you know. So now it's like all of a sudden we're gonna have problems with mice and everything. I mean, real problems. But anyway, the reason I think that is, you know, a couple of years ago, doing something like in the laundry, moving something, there was like a small snake, you know, it was pretty small. And I basically just kind of swished it away with the broom, and it slithered away, and it was gone, right? I think that happened like, and then, you know, a little while later, same kind of snake, a little bit bigger, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's the same snake. And then about a year ago-ish, there was like a big shed in the back of my backyard, a snake shed, like a snake was coming through, and it caught its skin as it was shedding, and it just slithered and pulled the whole thing off like in one piece, you know. It was pretty big, and I was like, oh man, I'm like, where's this guy living? And I don't know, that's kind of been it, you know. And then yeah, that's kind of it until today. So earlier, this all happened within like the last hour. So I was doing some stuff. I was cleaning up my little tool room and organizing my bike stuff and trying to get ready for my ride tomorrow. And the dogs are barking and barking and barking. And you know, when you have dogs, you can kind of tell when they're barking at each other or barking at other dogs, or when they're barking at like somebody at the gate, you know. It's like you kind of learn the way they bark and what's going on, you know what I'm saying? And so I was listening to them bark, and it was like they were barking like somebody was at the front gate, but they were right by the house, by the back, like behind the back door from our kitchen, which we have like our recycle. I mean, we don't really recycle, but we do separate like cans and plastic, and we bring it to like a dump and stuff, and they separate it and do all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I guess that's the American in me, still trying to have recycle bins. But so they're all sitting there just barking at like the bins, and I'm like, you know, it's like almost like they, you know, it was a transform. Dude, I'm sweating. I got to turn the fan on. I don't think it messes with the audio too bad. So I looked through the window, and they're just barking at something, and I'm thinking either like another cat snuck in and is hiding there, or maybe a rat, you know. So I just grabbed like a broom and I went out there and was like moving some stuff. And there was something there. I knew something was there. And so I moved like the smaller bins. And so I have like a big like trash can that's kind of like our burn paper cardboard. So, whenever stuff that burns, that's where we put it. And if we need something to start a fire or do whatever, that's what that's for. And then, I dump it when it gets full. And then you have the two smaller plastic containers that are for the cans and the plastics. So I moved the smaller ones. And they're still barking. I'm looking. I don't see nothing. But then I see the large recycle thing like move. And I'm like, whoa, something's in there. Something big. So I'm thinking it's a cat or a rat for sure, So I grabbed the container and I moved it out kind of in the open in the sun. And I don't know if he went out the back because I was looking. I don't know how he got out, but I saw at the bottom, I saw that it was a snake. And it was like pretty good sized snake. So this cobra was, probably like that really. But it was like over a meter long. It was a decent size. And I'm gonna show a little clip. Because I did take video. But anyway. So, I pulled it and I saw it and I was like, oh crap, a snake. Now I'm not like petrified of snakes. I'm not like phobic. But they do kind of creep me out a little bit. Like, they're interesting. I've held snakes, but I'm not like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not going to jump in there like the crocodile hunter or anything. But so I saw it come out and I was like, wow, it's pretty big. And then I saw it go over like some of the woods towards this wood pile that I have. And I saw its hood or its rib cage spread out, like cobras do. And I was like, oh crap, it's a cobra. So I immediately, because I'm in flip-flops, right? And I'm like, I'm not messing with no. So I ran in. I put on like my slip-on like work cowboy boots that I never wear here, but, well, except for today, I guess. And I called my wife, and I'm like, hey, we got a big-ass cobra here. She's like, really? So she called somebody to come help, take care of it. So I was just kind of, I was there. I didn't want to leave because I didn't want the cobra to get away or get in the kitchen or whatever. So I was kind of trying to stay there as much as possible. And then I had the dogs, though. The dogs were still trying to sniff and find it and this and that. And, oh, you know what? No, that's not good. Okay. Sorry. I just had a little brain aneurysm. And so finally, the guy, not finally, it was pretty quick, but the guy she called, he comes in, but then he doesn't want to come in because the dogs. Filipinos are scared of dogs, most of them. So I had to leave for a minute, and I got the dogs to go in the back where I have the gate I just built. And then he came in, and we started moving wood. I had a crowbar so I'm picturing like what you see, on programs or what's that guy on YouTube? Chandler's Wildlife or whatever, and I'm thinking like, okay, I got the crowbar, which is, kind of like the snake stick thing, but it's just thicker and heavier. Maybe I can get it, grab it by its tail and keep it. Like, that's what I'm kind of planning in my head a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I don't want the snake here, but I don't want to kill it either. You know what I mean? But yeah, Filipinos don't give a shit. So the guy shows up, and I was grabbing whatever kind of long kind of tools I had, and then I have this like pry bar that they use for digging here because the dirt here is like clay in a lot of places. It's really hard, so it's just like a long like a long chisel kind of thing, like the size of a shovel, but on the end of it, it's just like a tiny spade to dig in and break up like clay, and then on the other end, it's got like a pointy whatever. It's like a metal pipe. Came in handy today. But so anyway, so I got the video. I'm not gonna play the whole video. It's like 7 minutes, but I'll add it to this somehow for the video. I'll put it in. I'll put it in somewhere. But so we're moving the wood. I'm recording it, and then my wife also called the housekeeper lady that takes care of her dad that helps, so she's like, helps make sure he's good to go and whatever. So she came to kind of help with the dogs and everything, but I had already taken care of that. So she showed up, and then so I was recording, and then I asked her to record. And so we're moving the wood, and then finally we see it. And then the guy who can't speak English for anything, most people do speak a little English, but this guy couldn't. So I keep talking to him, and I'm like, why am I talking to this guy? He can't understand what I'm saying. But so he had that digging spade that I was talking about, and he just, slams it in the ground, but he just barely got like the tail, nicked it kind of. I mean, it hurt it, but so it went further in there, right? And I'm thinking, well, I could have done that. I mean, I can kill it, but I don't know. See, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not a cold-hearted bastard. Yes, I voted for Trump because Trump is awesome, but I'm not like some, like people think like conservatives or whatever. They want to shoot and kill everything, and it's retarded. I always say I'm a liberal heart with a conservative mind, right? Anyway, so. Gosh. So we're moving the wood pile. We keep moving more and more pieces. And then finally, I see it curled up, and I'm like, there it is. It's right there. So then he gets it, and this time, and I was trying to ask him too. I'm like, are there snakes that pretend to be cobras? That aren't, because it's like, if it's not poisonous, we don't need to kill it, But then he slams down the little digger, and basically cut it in half, but it pinned it, so it just starts bleeding out, and it's underneath the wood. And I got some video I'll show, but it comes out, and it's got the hood, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a cobra for sure. And it's doing its thing, it's dying, and then he goes and he starts bashing its head and whatever, and so it's dead. And then he takes it, and then they'll probably eat it, I guess. I guess they like to eat cobra here. But that's it in a nutshell for the most part. Maybe I'll just play the whole video. I'd have to look at it though, make sure there's nothing incriminating. I don't think there is, because I'm only at 12 minutes. But yeah, I kind of was like, I don't know. I was thinking like, catching it, giving it to somebody or whatever. But yeah, no, they're just, it's farmland. The farmers out here get bit. They don't want to get bit. So I did pull up just to see if there was like snakes around here that pretend or whatever, but no, the Philippine Cobra, also called the Philippine spitting cobra. So it does spit. And I was saying that in the video. I'm like, oh man, does it do? Because I didn't want to get, I'm trying to get the video, but I didn't want to get too close and have it, I don't know. I don't know if maybe they have to be a little bigger to do that, but it was a pretty good size though. Let's see. Northern Philippine Cobra is a stocky, highly venomous species of spitting cobra native to the northern regions of the Philippines, which is where I live. The Philippine Cobra is called ulapang in Tagalog, in Karasan in Ilocano. Karasan. All right, the Philippine Cobra is a stocky snake of medium length with long vertical ribs capable of expanding. So when threatened, the hood can be formed. The average length of the species is 1 meter, 3 feet. Man, it was, I would say it was that long, so it must have been full grown. Well, the species can grow up to 1.6 meter, which is 5 foot. It wasn't that big, but I'd say it was about 3 feet. However, subpopulations of the species, particularly specimens from Mindoro Island, are said to attain lengths of 2 meters, but these are unconfirmed claims. If true, however, 2 meters would be very rare and would be considered the absolute maximum for the species. The head is elliptical, depressed, slightly distinct from the neck, and a short, rounded snout and large nostrils. The eyes are moderate in size with dark brown and round pupils, typical of other cobra species and similar to other elapids in general. It has a fairly stocky build for an elapid, and adult snakes are uniformly light to medium brown, while the juveniles tend to be a darker brown in color. So maybe it wasn't the same snake, because the other one, the little one I was talking about, was like bluish and silvery. So that must have not been. This cobra probably ate those guys. Anyway, they have whatever. So scales and this and that. Talks about. I'm trying to see what they eat. Oh, here we go. Diet. Species predominantly on small mammals, frogs, and even other snakes. So toads come out of the woodwork at night. See, it was probably helping keep the mice down, man. You know, it's like I don't want to poison a snake, you know? Like, I mean, it was in my recycle. What if I went in there and stuck a recycle and all of a sudden, I mean, I doubt it, you know, but at the same time, it's like, man, this thing's keeping pests away, you know? Sucks. Because, I mean, it might end up, you know, striking my cat or inadvertent, you know, it's not safe to have, it's not smart to have a cobra loose around your house, you know? So we had to do what we had to do. I wasn't going to keep it. I'm not going to let my youngest son is infatuated with reptiles and snakes. So he's going to be all pumped. He's probably going to be kind of bummed that we killed it or the guy killed it. I didn't kill it, but. Oh, let me read this real quick. Venom. Although venom toxicity values can vary greatly, even among specimens of the same species, the Philippine Cobra is considered to possess one of the more toxic venoms among the cobra species. Ugh. According to something, blah, 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 blah. Data on venom yield of 150. It's saying a bunch of snake lingo. Gave an overall average venom yield per cobra per extraction. The venom of the Philippines cobra is a potent postsynaptic neurotoxin which affects respiratory function and can cause neurotoxicity and respiratory paralysis. So it's not the one that eats your skin away. Those are vipers, I think, right? As the neurotoxins interrupt the transmissions of nerve signals by binding to the neuromuscular junctions near the muscles. Research has shown its venom is purely neurotoxin with no apparent necrotizing components. Oh, so that's what I was talking about, where it eats your flesh and stuff. These snakes are capable of accurately spitting their venom at a large target up to 3 meters. Well, I was definitely close enough to 3 meters, but it's kind of covered, and plus it was pinned down. Anyway, symptoms of a bite might include headache, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, diarrhea, dizziness, and difficult breathing. Bites by the Philippine Cobra produce prominent neurotoxicity with minimum to no local signs. A study of 39 patients envenomed by the Philippine Cobra were conducted in 88. Neurotoxicity occurred in 38 cases and was a predominant clinical feature. Complete respiratory failure developed in 19 patients and was often rapid in onset. Dang. Within 30 minutes. That's scary. There were 2 deaths. Oh, okay. Well, out of 39, there was only 2 deaths. But how many? 19 had complete. Well, isn't complete respiratory failure? Wouldn't that mean death? I mean, I don't know. All right, complete. Okay, there were 2 deaths, both in patients who were moribund upon arrival at the hospital. Don't know what that means. These patients developed necrosis, I don't know, and 14 individuals with systematic symptoms had no local swelling at all. Both toxicity and reliable non-specific signs of envenoming were absent. Bites by the Philippine Cobra produce a distinctive clinical puncture characterized by severe neurotoxicity of rapid onset, minimal local issue damage. Anyway, well, there we go. Pretty good sized cobra. I think I'm going to stop my video, well, everything really. I'll add the video to the end of the clip of the snake in the end. Maybe I'll see if I can do that. But anyway, just on a separate topic, my audio for my podcast it's not that great. Like, so I record on GarageBand, and then I always listen to it before I do anything, and it sounds fine. It sounds good. And then the videos sound good, but the mastering, there's like magic mastering or whatever with Buzzsprout, and it just makes it really echoey. I don't know. Like, I mess with the GarageBand and make it sound good, but then it gets processed through GarageBand, and it seems like I'm thinking about stopping that maybe and trying seeing how it sounds. I don't know. But anyway, let me know how it is for you if you listen to the podcast. If it, like, to me, I don't like the way it sounds. I think it sounds better on the videos. And then it sounds good when I listen to it directly from my GarageBand, but something in the, and when you export it and it goes through whatever, it kind of messes it up or something. All right, well, my last video was really long, so it don't matter. I'm going to end it right here. Philippine Cobra story. If you want to check out what it looked like and whatever, go to, Rumble or BitChute and look me up and you can watch it there. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. God bless and have a good one. All right, bye. You just put yourself through another episode of The Objective Jerk. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Please email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment, wherever you find this, follow. It all helps. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.